Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session wherein we would look at how exactly you can register for the JEE Mains Paper 2A. Since we are an institute that mainly deals with architecture and design entrance exams, we would mainly be dealing with JEE Mains Paper 2A. That's the one for architecture. Let's not wait much time. I think we had come up with a live yesterday, wherein we had told briefly about how exactly the exam is going to be, the dates and things like that. So these are some of the things that we had covered. We just cover it up within a couple of slides, and then we would move forward, explaining on how exactly the registration process has to be done. I'll take you step by step. Now, before I continue, let me have an audio check with my host. Host, can you please let me know whether I'm audible?
You are audible, sir.
Thank you. So the JEE Mains Paper 2A is going to be a computer-based exam, wherein the computer-based exam would be conducted for the mathematics and aptitude section, that is part 1 and part 2. There would be a part 3, wherein you would get the question paper in the online mode, but you will respond to it in the offline mode. That means pen and paper mode. So you will be given A4 sheets and you will have to draw the questions that are being asked. Okay. Now, these are things that we had covered already. There would be 3 parts. Sorry, part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 1 would be mathematics, wherein you have 20 and 10 questions. 20 questions from section A for multiple choice questions, and 10 questions, which would be numerical value questions. Now, part 2 would be aptitude, which would include architecture awareness-based questions or non-verbal reasoning-based questions. There would be 50 of them. And part 3 would be drawing test, wherein you have 2 questions. Altogether, there would be 82 questions and a total of 400 marks. Now, based on the amount of marks that you're scoring, you will get a percentile. And based on that percentile, you will get a rank. And it is with respect to that the decision of which college you would be going into to do the B.Arch would be decided. Now, there is a mention of 2 sessions. We've got some queries regarding what exactly is a session. Session 1, session 2. Session 1 has been scheduled for April in this year, and session 2 has been scheduled for the month of May in this year. What is meant by schedule? What is meant by session? Session is nothing but attempt. 2 sessions basically means 2 attempts. The first attempt or the first session would be in the month of April, somewhere in between April 16 to April 21. And the second attempt would be somewhere in the month of May. So there will be 2 attempts, 2 sessions. But please note one thing. You would only be able to apply for session 1 currently. Once you write session 1, after that, the window to apply for session 2 would open up. So you will only be applying for session 1 as of now. This is something that you need to clearly remember. The application window would be reopened after session 1. I think the last year it was quite different, wherein you could apply for both session 1 and session 2, but it has changed. Now, something which struck me, something which is of utmost importance, which has to be highlighted before we begin. This is a screenshot of the notice that NTA had released regarding JEE Paper 2. What is marked in the red color is what I was trying to highlight. Candidates are requested to fill in the application form very carefully. It's quite obvious, but no corrections will be permitted once the application form is submitted. Exams like NID or UCEED, I think, has this habit of giving a correction window, wherein you can submit the application form. Later on, there will be a 3-day or a 5-day window that will be given, wherein you can correct yourselves. But no, not here, not in this case. So everything that you're going to do from now, if you haven't applied, from the first step onwards, that is from the registration onwards, from the first click onwards, has to be done with utmost care. If possible, please sit with a pen and a paper so that you can note down some of the important things. Now, this is the website that you have to go into. This is going to be the most sacrosanct website that you're going to follow for the next 6 or 7 months. Hopefully you will get 99.9 percentile, rank 1, 2, or 3, and get into the best SPAs or NITs of this country. I would request the host to please share the link for this particular website. I think it's quite famous. So I don't think it's required for anyone. I think everyone is aware of this. This is where you're going to get the updates, all sorts of updates, all sorts of notices. Any confusions regarding the exams would be clarified here. So bookmark it and keep it. It would be a good idea. You can go to the public notice here and see the one-page notice that they had released yesterday. Now, our job or our target is actually to register for this particular exam. There are two ways. You can click either on the registration for JEE Mains Paper 2022, or you can also click here. It would take you to an external link. You might get a pop-up saying that you are being directed to an external link. It's okay, it's safe. There's a separate, from what I understand, there is a separate domain that they have created exclusively for examination services. It would take you to this sort of an interface, wherein if you haven't registered, if you're coming here for the first time, you will have to click on new registrations. Once you click on new registrations, you would be taken to a page like this. Let me take some time out to explain what is the fee. The second question that we have been getting regularly is regarding the fees. Let's say you are a male candidate who belong to the general category and you want to prepare for JEE Mains Paper 2A, that is for architecture. You will have to pay 650 rupees for every session. For the first session, session 1 in April, you will have to pay 650 rupees. For the second session also, you will have to pay 650 rupees. That makes the total to be 1,300. Imagine a scenario wherein you belong to the female or transgender identity in the general or OBC category. You will have to pay 325 for one session. That is, if you're writing the April session, you will have to pay 325. If you are writing both the sessions, that is April and May, 325 into 2, that would be 650 rupees. Now, if you belong to the SC, ST or PWD category, you will have to pay 325 for every session. So 2 sessions are there. For every session, this is the amount that you have to pay. So you can go through which gender you belong to, which category you belong to, and among this, what is the combination that you're going to write? Is it paper 1 alone? Is it paper 2A alone? Is it paper 2B alone? Or is it a combination? And you can figure out what is the amount that you have to pay. Having said that, I heard a lot of queries wherein people were saying that their board exams are clashing or they're quite nearby with respect to these sessions, especially session 1 from the state of Karnataka or Andhra is what I understand. This is one of the major reasons why they're giving 2 sessions. So the first session, you can get an idea with that on what are the kind of questions, you can get a feel of the exam. So if possible, please do apply for both the sessions. Please do write both the sessions. It's very, very important. Once we agree upon all of this, there's one more point that I wanted to say. For students who are writing outside India, there are also centers outside India. For students who are writing outside India, it's a higher amount of fees, and that's given in the other column. Which are the centers outside India? These are all the centers: Doha, Dubai, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Muscat, Riyadh, Sharjah, etc. You can take a screenshot of this for students, especially who are outside India. Now, once you have downloaded the information bulletin, see, I'll explain the major points of information bulletin in this particular live, but please note that downloading the information bulletin and going through each and every point is of utmost importance for every candidate who is going to write. After that, you can click here to proceed. You have to give your personal details. When you're giving your personal details, you can give the candidate your name, parents' name, and things like that. This is a very long form. Okay, just a minute. This is a very long form. I've only taken a small screenshot of this. So this goes quite to the bottom. Please fill all the details accurately with respect to how it's given in the certificates or in the documents that you have, Aadhaar card, or in the 10th mark list that you have. You will get a notification like this wherein you'll get a message like this wherein you have to review. After that, you have to give all these details. Go through this checklist, whether you have given all of the required documents, whether you have given all of the required things like that. And you can submit for the OTP. You can give a mobile number. You will get an OTP. You have to click on that. You will submit the registration form. Now, there are 2 things which I have to highlight here. The mobile number that you're going to give is something that you need to have at least for the next 8 to 10 months. I remember last year when the admission process was going on, students have got really good ranks. From the month of September, October, and all, the JOSA counseling procedure would start. So one fine day, they would open up their window and say that you can log in and start giving your preferences. What happens is everybody would find it difficult to log in. They might have forgotten their password. They might have forgotten the mobile number that they gave, or they might have changed the SIM. Please don't do things like that. Please be absolutely sure about the mobile number that you're going to give today. That is going to be something that is mandatory and has to be used for the next 8 months. If there is any mobile number that you have wherein messages are not coming, please do not use that. So give a mobile number, preferably of your elder siblings or probably of your parents or your own, the ones that you would be using for a longer period of time. I am explaining in a particular flow. If there are any questions that anyone of you have, please do not hesitate, post it in the chat box. Now, once you give your mobile number, you will obviously get an OTP. Same is the case with the email ID that you're registering. Please note that it is an active email ID. You know the password, and for the next 10 months, you have to have access to that. Please do not have an email ID wherein after 2 weeks, you're going to forget it. It would not work like that. Because if your mobile number is not going to work, the next point of contact for you is going to be your email. And there are lots of mails that are going to come up in the coming days. So we need to learn from our own seniors, right? So this is what I have learned from your seniors. Okay. Now, if anyone is finding it difficult to log in or to register and all, you can contact us at 8086 111 216. We would do the registration for you, provided you are happy to share your details. And any other doubts that you have, you can contact us. It's not a service that we are charging for. It's something that's done free of cost. So if you have any doubts, you can call us or you can WhatsApp us at the same number, 8086 111 216. Now, once we're done with the contact details, these are the other things that we need to upload. Personal details, Aadhaar details, examination centers, qualification, additional details, uploading of documents, and final submit. So in the personal details, there would be a lot of things that would be asked. One of the most important things is the state in which you are appearing for your 12th standard or the qualifying examination. That is what's called as state code of eligibility. State code of eligibility is something that would define which NIT you could get into. It is the state from where you are passing the qualifying examination. What is a qualifying examination? The exam by which you are becoming eligible to write JEE paper 2. So it could be your 12th standard. It could be a 10+3 diploma for someone else. Let's say, for example, you are somebody who was born and brought up in the state of Karnataka. However, for let's say coaching reasons or any other reasons, you are moving to, let's say, Gujarat. You're completing your 12th standard from a school in Gujarat. Even though you have resided for 15 years in Karnataka, if your last 3 years have been in Gujarat and your 12th standard you've completed from Gujarat, a school in Gujarat, if you've completed your 12th standard from Gujarat, your state code of eligibility is becoming Gujarat. Please note that your 12th standard where you're passing from, the school from which you're passing from, is wherein your state code of eligibility would be. It doesn't have anything to do with your residence. Okay. This would different. There is something called as home state and other state and all. We'll learn all of that when we are going into JOSA. We do not have to look into that right now, but please ensure that this is how we are defining state code of eligibility. There is also, they've explained this point with an example in the information bulletin. So please go through that. Next is the Aadhaar details. Give your Aadhaar details and your willingness to share the Aadhaar details. After that, the examination centers. Again, something that is very important. This is the point that I was making earlier. The sessions you are applying for, you will only be able to see session 1 now. After April 21st, when they are opening the window for session 2, then only you will be able to see this. It is the same profile through which you will have to get it. So the password and things like that of the same profile, the application number, note down all these things, whatever you are giving. Again, question paper medium. With respect to the national education policy, a lot of languages have been included. Assamese, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Odia, Punjabi, and all have been included. Tamil, Telugu, Urdu. Please note here, if you want to write, let's say, for example, in Kannada, if you want to write this exam in Kannada, you have to select the centers in Karnataka. If you want to write in Odia, you have to select a center in the state of Odisha. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. So there are certain languages in which you will get the question paper only if you are in certain examination centers in particular states. That has been clearly defined here. I've taken this screenshot from the information bulletin only. You can find that in detail. So if anyone is willing to, or if anyone is interested to write in any language other than English, they can definitely go in through it. Please note, English, Hindi, and Urdu. I think these are the three languages which you can get all across India. Okay. Again, the decision of which language you have to write in has to be taken now while filling. Later on, there won't be any correction window that would be given. So once you decide that, that would be it. And in the last few years, there has been a lot of debates and court cases related to the accuracy of certain questions while translations have happened. Please note, for all of this, the English version would be considered final. Okay. Now, you can give your examination choices. You have 4 options to give. You can give all the 4 options. After that, you have to give your qualification details, the exam by which you are actually becoming eligible. So 10th exam, the marks that you have scored in that, all those things you can enter. Additional details, are you a twin, things like that have to be entered. Now we are coming to one of the most important portions, document uploading. While uploading the documents, there are certain points which has to be highlighted. A photograph of yours, obviously a recent photograph of yours has to be used. And they've mentioned that the background is expected to be white. So please ensure that that is maintained. You can either use a color photograph or a black and white photograph. At least 80% of your face has to be visible. Please do not use a mask to take the photograph and upload it. That would be rejected straight away. Now, the format has been mentioned. Scanned photograph and signature has to be in JPG format. The size of that has also been mentioned. Signature, preferably use a ballpoint pen because ink pens could spread out or could have other issues. But again, you don't have to send the hard copy and all. The scanned copy of the category certificates is also to be used, and the size for that has also been mentioned. Okay, so upload all of that, enter the pin, and you can continue. Once you go ahead, the final page wherein you have to submit would be reached. You can go through, you can review the entire details that you have given. Again, please note, before we began, there was a point that I was talking about wherein no correction window would be permitted is a statement that they are categorically mentioned. So you will not have the option to correct it. So please go through this. If you want to take some more time, you have time till 31st of March. So take a couple of more days after filling it and saving it. Go through it again, probably show it to your elder siblings or probably your parents and all, or your friends. Ensure that it is safe. Ensure that it is correct and it is accurate to the best of the certificates that you have. You can go through this checklist, which are to be verified, agree to all the conditions that are mentioned, and you can submit the application form. Once the submission is done, the last thing that is pending is fee payment. You can click on this particular link of fee payment. You will be directed to an online payment page or an online payment portal. From there, you can click and proceed to the online payment. So these are the major things that you need to note when we are talking about how to apply for these exams. I hope you've understood all of this. If there are any questions, you can post in the chat box, in the live chat box. Or if you're watching a recorded session of this, you can still post in the comment box. If there are any doubts or if you want us to help you out in how to fill it, we'll be filling it without any cost of service. We'll be doing it for free. You can contact us at this number, 8086 111 216. Now, there are some additions, like let's say, for example, the AKTU University at Lucknow, Madan Mohan Malavika University at Gorakhpur, and all have started taking JEE mains course. So the exam is becoming more and more important. The paper is becoming more and more widely accepted also. So please, please, please ensure that everybody registers for both the sessions, and you never know which session you could score really high. We have students who have attempted both the sessions last year. The first session, they attempted it badly. They thought the second one, they would attempt it well. Second one became worse. They got admission into good colleges, into NITs and SPS through the first attempt score itself. So you never know which one is going to help you out. There is a slight amount of luck always in all competitive exams. So please apply for both the sessions. Please write both the exams. Obviously, you can only apply one for now. But just because your board exams are nearing, or you might not be able to prepare, does not mean that you should not apply. Please do apply. You'll get a feel of the exam at least. Now, they've also mentioned an app which they've developed, Sandesh app. So if there is any update and all that they want to give to the candidates, they would give it to this app. Please go to the Play Store and you can download it. Okay, so that would be it from our side. Most of the points that I had to mention, I had covered it already. So please note, there won't be any correction windows. There won't be any correction windows. So when you once you submit it, that would be it. There won't be any option of changing it further. Okay, there would be two phases, that is 2 attempts, 2 sessions would be there. One would be in the month of April, one would be in the month of May. Students have also been calling us asking, when is the exact exam date for paper 2A? We don't know when is the exact date. We only know that it will be somewhere between April 16 to April 21. You will only get to know that in the first or second week of April when you get the admit card. It will be only in the admit card that it will be mentioned which date is it that the exam will be conducted. Okay. Now, there would be 2 attempts, but you can only apply once as of now. After the first attempt, you can apply once again. Yeah, regarding the passwords, please write down the passwords. The email ID, mobile number, and all has to be regularly used. Please ensure that mails are incoming. Please ensure that messages are incoming to the mobile number and all. Otherwise, later on, it will be extremely difficult during the counseling stages. Okay. So yes, I think that would be it. The last date for registration. Yes, I had already mentioned once. The last date for registration is 31st of March. But please do not wait till the last end. You have the exams, board exams and all that are coming up. Okay. So this is a purely online based exam, which is computer based. It's only the drawing session that you will do physically. It would be on the same day. It would be offline mode. You will get the question paper. You will get the questions in the computer, and you will draw it in the. You'll draw the answers in the A4 sheet. Okay. So I think with this particular small session, we have covered most of the queries that you are having. I hope registration becomes a bit more easier. I think we had some comments yesterday saying that I still don't have any idea of how to register and things like that. So I hope this video makes it a bit more easier for you people on how to register. Okay, please do not waste your time. Prepare well. We have our new batches starting from the 6th of March. You can contact us again at 8086111216. Any doubts, queries, or joining our new batches and things like that, you can contact us. Okay, if you like the content, please do subscribe to the channel. Okay, until we see you in the next session. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you, host.